Welcome to Yoga for Depression, focusing on the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus is this chakra, the yellow one, and it's the third chakra from the bottom up. It governs the emotions of willpower, self-esteem, and self-worth. You can see how those emotions are important to keep in check when struggling with depression. I've added some additional bonus items for you in the projects and resources section of this course. Please enjoy. If it's not comfortable for you to sit fully flat on the mat, feel free to grab a blanket or a pillow, something where you can keep your spine straight. Let us start by setting an intention for our practice for today. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. An intention is something that we want to accomplish. Think of something that you want to gain from this practice. It could be more confidence in yourself, more peace, healing energy, whatever that might be. I would like you to set that intention and keep it in your mind for a few moments. Quieten your mind, breathing in and out. Slowly open your eyes. Next, we will work on some breathing exercises. Breathing is very good for depression. I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying, I've been breathing since the day I was born. But doing specific pranayama exercises help the body calm down and to focus on your breathing. And that way you're controlling it better. We're going to try Villanoma Pranayama, putting one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And we'll have 3 breaths here. Two and 3. Excellent. Moving on to staff pose. In staff pose, from my seated position, I'm simply going to straighten out my legs and keep my spine straight. And we will be here for 10 breaths. Letting go of anything that challenges us today. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Moving on to seated forward bend from the same position that I'm currently in. We will bend forward, trying to grab your toes if that's available to you, your shins. If you can manage to put your forehead on your knees, that's wonderful. If not, listen to your body today and go as far as is comfortable and available to you. I don't want you to have any injuries or pain. Okay, so seated forward bend, and we will hold here for 6 breaths. And release, slowly rolling upward again and straightening out our back. Wiggle my back a little bit. Moving on to twisted pose from staff pose, We're going to start with twisted pose towards the right side. So I'm going to leave the right leg on the floor and I'm going to move my left foot over it and onto the other side. Then I'm going to place my right hand behind me and I am going to open my chest towards my right hand side. And I will hold here for 6 breaths. Awesome. Now releasing my left leg, my right leg comes over, and I'll be transitioning over to my left hand side, placing my left hand on the floor, and twisting my abdomen to the left. Inhaling and exhaling for 6 breaths. Next, we're working on half Lord of the Fishes. Very similar to twisted pose, except that you're going to have both legs bent. So if I bend my left foot and I put my right foot above it, also in bended form, and then I am going to twist towards the right, and I'm going to place both arms behind me. So I'm going to interlace them as so behind me, and I am going to try to open my chest and straighten out my chest as much as possible. You don't want to slouch in, you want to keep your chest open, and we will be here for 6 breaths. And 6. Release. And we will do the same with the next side, moving my right leg towards the left, moving my left foot over my right foot. I am going to twist towards my left, interlacing my hands again towards my back, trying to straighten out my spine and opening my chest. 6 breaths here. 2, 3, 6. Release. Continuing on with bow pose with arms overhead. So this is stretching and a core workout. So for bow pose, you straighten out your legs, and for bow pose overhead, we're going to balance and bring our arms up above our head. And by doing that, we're engaging the core. We're engaging the area that we're working during this workout, which is the solar plexus chakra. Okay? So first we're going to work on bow pose with arms overhead, and we were going to try to hold it for 8 breaths. If that's not available to you because it's too challenging, too hard, that is fine. Go as far as your body and your situation allows you. If you want to take 2 breaths, rest, and then keep going, you're welcome to do so. I want you to listen to your body. Okay, let's get started. So first I'm going to raise up my legs, and I try to balance it by holding myself on the mat for a little bit. Once I feel, I need to scoot over it a little bit. Once I feel I've got the balance I need, then I raise my hands up and counting for 8 breaths. Your body's going to shake a little bit, that's fine. Mine's going to do the same. And 1 release. Moving into regular boat pose. Not with the arms up, but arms parallel to our legs, like that. And we'll do regular boat pose for 8 breaths as well. Okay? See if I can do it. There we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pose. I'm going to move my body direction so you can better see what I'm doing. And we are working on a pose called upward seated straddle. So essentially, you're widening your stance on your legs and you're trying to grab your feet, but you're doing it while holding it up in the air. Okay, now that might seem like a challenge for some people, and if so, if you can do it on the ground like this, that's fine, that works. If not, if you think you want to challenge yourself today and try to lift them up and hold for 6 breaths, you're welcome to do so. Either one is fine. Okay, so we have upward seated straddle, and we're holding for 6 breaths. 6. And release. Amazing. I can feel the burn here in my thighs. Next, I'm going to move my body position, and we'll do another boat with hands overhead, this time for 10 breaths. Raising my arms, raising my legs. Try to keep your spine as straight as you can. We're doing it for 10. And release. Moving on to sitting on my legs, folded for child's pose. This is probably my favorite pose, most relaxing. It'll straighten out your back and it will slow down your breathing, help you to relax. At any point in the day, if you feel like you're really stressed out or really overwhelmed, feel free to take a child's pose. So I'm going to straighten out my arms and I'm going to place my forehead onto the mat. This is an opportunity to let go, to just breathe in and out without any judgment or shame. Be present in this moment. Awesome. And coming up, I know that feels really good. You probably want to stay in child's pose forever. Moving on to seated forward bend. We did this earlier, legs straight, trying to grab as far as we can and bending our chest forward onto the legs. We'll hold here for 10 breaths. 10, 9, 8, 7, staff pose to half lotus pose. So we're going to begin on the right side. So I'm going to bend my left leg, and I'm going to stretch out and grab my right foot, and I'm going to have my left arm behind me, and I'm going to stretch forward and down as much as is comfortable for me in order to straighten out my back. And we'll be here for 8 breaths on each side. And release. Moving on to the left leg, bending my right foot, and again stretching out, looking down, trying to straighten out my abdomen, holding here. Transitioning to Sphinx pose. If you think of the pyramids of Egypt, the Sphinx lies down on its belly, so we're going to do that. And I'm going to flatten out my legs, and I'm going to keep my arms like this, bent and facing forward. Okay? And we're going to hold Sphinx pose for 16 breaths. Try to look forward. If that's hard on your neck, you can look down or maybe scoot a little bit further down onto the mat, whatever is best for you. Holding for 16. And release. From Sphinx, we're going to transition into bow. So for bow, I'm going to remain on the floor with my body out, but I'm slowly going to bring my legs up, and I'm going to bring my arms back to hold on to my ankles, and I'm going to try to push my abdomen down onto the mat and up as much as I can. And we're going to hold here for 10 breaths. Release. Moving on to fish pose. I need to lift myself from the mat, and we are going to be on our backs for fish pose. So for fish pose, essentially you want your lower body to be onto the mat, and then your chest to be raised up. You can interlace your hand underneath it. If you have a block, this is a block, you can put the block underneath. And then when you're positioned on your back, either by holding or with some kind of support, you want to try to get the top of your head to touch the back of the mat. And that'll be engaging all this area, the solar plexus, that we continue to work on during this yoga sequence. And we are holding fish for 12 breaths. I'm not the best at fish, but I do the best I can, and I encourage you to do the same. So we're at 12. Breathing in. Even though it's challenging, breathe into it. Don't negatively talk to yourself. You can do it. You're doing it. Breathe into the challenge. And 1. Release. Moving on to revolved abdomen twist. For this pose, we're basically shaping our body like the letter L. So start with the right side. I going to lie down on the mat. If you need head support with a blanket or a pillow, please do so. And then I'm going to bend my legs, and you can see the L shape in my body. I'm going to open my right arm down to the ground and my arm to the left as far as I can. Okay, and I'm revolving towards the right, so I'm going to look towards the left and stretch out my body here, and we'll hold here for 8 breaths. Release. Now we're going to do the same thing with the opposite side. So I'm going to switch my body so that you can see what I'm doing. Creating an L shape on the left side. And straightening out and widening out my arms as far as I can on both sides. And since I'm widening the left side, I'm going to straighten out my neck towards the right. And I'm holding here for 8 breaths. Pose or Savasana. We lie down on the mat and we fully let go of the tension. I'm going to wiggle my upper body a little bit and find a comfortable position, closing my eyes. I welcome you to bring back that intention that we set out at the beginning of our sequence. Remember what that is. Bring that to the forefront of your mind. And slowly relax and melt into the mat, if you will. Letting your worries go, any judgment go. Slowly coming back into the room. You can wiggle your toes. You can come onto your side if that's something that's available and comfortable for you. And slowly rise back. Take a moment to slowly open your eyes and come back to an upward seated position. From here, we are transitioning into a seated cat-cow. So straightening out your back and arching our back like a cat. And breathing into that and releasing. Straightening and letting go. More straightening and releasing. Excellent. Moving on to Bhastrika Pranayama. We're going to relax and work on our breathing. And by doing so, we're going to relax our internal organs as well. Picture as if you were inflating your stomach as a balloon and deflating it completely. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more. Inhaling and exhaling. Excellent. Moving on to Om. Om is a sacred bija, or a sacred sound. I welcome you to rub your hands together and put your hands out so that we may share with the world what gifts we have received during this practice. Please join me in saying Om 3 times. Om. Bringing our hands together into our chest in prayer mode. I thank you for your practice today. Namaste. Many blessings. I invite you to sit in a comfortable position, in a place where you will not be disturbed for the next few minutes. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. 1. Feel as your lungs fill up with air. 2. And 3. I want you to picture in your mind that you have arrived at a beautiful staircase. Imagine yourself taking off your shoes at the bottom of the staircase. Notice that there is a large wicker basket to the right of the staircase. I want you to put yourself, everything you are thinking about right now, any problems, feelings, must-dos, put them all inside that basket. You can claim your belongings at the end of the meditation. For now, they will be safe.
Now hold on to the railing. You are slowly going to go up the staircase. As you hear me count, you will step upward onto another step. Let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You are now at the top of the landing. In front of you is a large, heavy wooden door. You will need to use both hands to pull it open. Go ahead and do so. Inside, there is a blank, empty room. As you walk into the room, it starts coming alive. There are beautiful, blooming flowers. You can smell them. You can hear water nearby. You follow the sound and find a small creek. Go ahead and put your feet in the water. Feel the peaceful water flow over you. You feel calm and relaxed. You see a nearby tree. It's an old tree because it is wide, has a large trunk, and many branches. You feel compelled to walk over there. Go ahead and do so. I want you to hug the tree. Notice how you feel in this moment. What thoughts, feelings, or emotions come up at this time? It's time to start making your way back. Say goodbye to this place and any friends you might have met. Walk back to the heavy door you came in through. Open the door and step through. Again, you see the staircase. Hold on to the railing. As I count, you will slowly make your way down, one step at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You are now at the bottom of the staircase. Go ahead and claim your belongings that you left in the wicker basket earlier. This concludes this meditation.